Shameless.
United in the Europa League, Europa League. Me tell them one time.
Manchester United 2, Sevilla 2. Stunned, absolutely stunned. 2-0 up, cruising, looking for a third, kill the tie. Even if we weren't going to get the third, get the 2-0, get out, make some subs. Should have been a really, really comfortable ease. And it feels like days ago. It feels like days ago, or an eternity, to that first half where we were waxing lyrical about how good Anthony Martial was, how good Sabitzer's 2 finishes were, him getting forward, and just a really dominant display for the first 20 minutes. And a lot of things have cost us today. Bad luck has cost us, and game management has cost us as well. The injuries are very, very concerning. We haven't got direct prognoses on all of them, but the Lisandro Martinez one looks like the biggest one, of course. Looked like it was an Achilles situation where it just gave way on him, went down. Very, very disturbing when that happens with a player, if they go down with nobody around them. Erik ten Hag has said since then that it isn't an Achilles tendon injury, but it isn't an Achilles tendon injury, but it could be. It's another tendon. It seems, as the media are reporting. Look, the fact that it's not an Achilles directly, you would say, okay, that is a positive, but the extent he's going to be missing for, we don't know. We do not know, and even so, he says he doesn't think it's an Achilles, but once they do scans and stuff, you never know. So a massive, massive loss for us with Licha. He said about Varane, he was complaining of an injury that he'd had for the last couple of weeks. It was a bit of a positive that he managed to get to half-time at least. However, that's another concern. A slight positive in terms of injuries that Rashford could be available for the second leg. We're going to need him. So that's the injury front. Luke Shaw, I haven't seen anyone speak too much about him, but we need him back ASAP, especially if we got our 2 starting centre-backs out. You'd imagine maybe he might have to play centre-back. Who knows? But in terms of the game, it was just an absolute freaky game. Look, we know Sevilla got the pedigree in this competition, but that should not have happened tonight. It really shouldn't have happened tonight. One thing is, a team getting a bit lucky, etc., but another thing is just, manage the game properly. Okay, you might not be at it, you can't get the third. Malacia had a great chance to get the third. We didn't take it. It's a good action from Pellistri to cut the ball back. He gets to Wout Weghorst. We should have taken that chance. Anthony, if that goes in off the post and goes in and it's 3-0, it's tie done, game over. These are the fine margins. But when you're 2-0 up, you've got to see it out. And look, everybody, I've seen a lot of people going in on Erik ten Hag for his substitutions. Here's how I saw it, because I think it's a little bit of both. Some people said this is on Erik and he shouldn't have made those changes, etc., etc. Here's what he had to say in his press conference. He said that he'd received warnings from the referee, who was absolutely shocking today. You saw the yellow card that Bruno got that was never a yellow card, which is why he's going to miss the next leg in Seville. But he said he received warnings from the referee about the yellow cards to Anthony and Bruno. So Ten Hag's looked at it at the 60th minute and gone, you know what, we're 2-0 up. We're not playing the best, but we can make some changes here and preserve those guys, because the referees are press. You saw the yellow cards they were given, the tackles that they were letting go. You can't trust them. So we thought, you know what, let's get him off. I looked at Jadon Sancho before he got taken off, and some people again on social media saying, why did he take Sancho off? Here's how I saw it. Just before Sancho came off, and there's a few people around me in the press box were saying, Sancho looked dead on his feet. He looked knackered. Just here, right behind me. He had to get back, and he just looked really tired, like he couldn't do it. And he wasn't playing very well. And I know you can say, well, the difference in quality with him and Anthony Elanga is massive, etc., etc. But he wasn't playing well in that moment. So, okay, fair enough. You could argue it backfired. The Bruno one, again, the yellow card situation, and you're bringing on Christian Eriksen for him, someone who's going to actually help us retain the ball. So you're like, you know what? Okay, we can deal with that. And then Anthony coming off as well. Martial coming off in that. We know he had to come off after 60 minutes, and when Weghorst comes on, it changes the way we play. So, look, these are all really, really fine margins where if we would have just got out with a 2-0, you're saying, well done, you got some players off. Look, the fact that we're playing so many games we're starting to see knocks, we're starting to see fatigue, we're starting to see injuries. You can't ignore that. When Rashford was still on the pitch against Everton, when we were comfortable, but he said that he wanted to have Martial playing with Anthony, playing with Sancho and playing with Rashford to get used to each other, and Rashford pulls up, it then turns to, why is Rashford on the pitch? So I feel it there. When a manager makes a decision to make subs or not make subs, depending on the smaller details of how it pans out, they either get praised or they get criticised. And that's part of being Manchester United manager, I understand that. But I think that's a little harsh to blame that all on the substitutions. I can actually see the rationale behind some of them. Martial had to come off, Weghorst had to come on. We knew as soon as that happened what was going to happen in terms of the quality. Sancho, I know you guys are going to say again he maybe shouldn't have come off, but I saw him and he looked knackered. And I don't understand why. He hasn't been playing loads of 90 minutes, but he looked tired. And then, like I said, the Bruno one, you're bringing him on for Christian Eriksen, bring him off for Christian Eriksen, you know. And I'm pretty sure that's the reason that they went. So Christian Eriksen was the one as well. That's one way you're looking at it and saying, well, you know what, that's tough. That's a tough one. So look, at the end of the day, what we've got to do is go and fight in Seville. We've got to do it. We've really got to be strong. We've really got to be honest out there. It isn't doom and gloom. This team can fight. We can push. We got a fighting spirit, and we have to go again. It did feel like, though, the season had literally been turned over on its head in the space of 10 minutes. You know, 2 own goals. Malacia here, he's in control of the situation, chooses not to make a challenge. Then he gets back in, hits off his leg, then hits off De Gea, goes in. Super unlucky. The header going nowhere near the goal, hits off Harry Maguire, goes in. We were really unlucky in that respect. But what I do have the frustration with is the fact that we didn't maintain possession of the ball. We allowed Sevilla to grow in confidence. Even though they wasn't really hurting us, if you don't control the ball and you don't see out games like this, this is what can happen. And now, all of a sudden, going to Sevilla, it looks a super, super tough task. It looks really difficult. It looks like the chips are down. It looks like, you know, it's going to be an absolute battle out there. And this is a team that's, 5 points above the relegation zone in Spain. You know, again, we just can't seem to get it done against Sevilla. The last couple of times we've played them, we've been on the wrong side of the results. And you felt a little bit about that today, like, Sevilla again. And like I said, it seems like an absolute age ago that we was raving at half an hour, completely calm. Anthony Martial, man of the match. Sabitzer, a couple of goals, and really, really comfortable. Now, can we go to Sevilla and win? Absolutely, of course we can. We went to the Nou Camp, put on a good performance. We went to Betis, although the game was done, and had a good performance there in the end because the damage was done. But we can absolutely do it. So, listen, it's going to feel down. It's going to feel really tough right now, but we've got to go and fight, and that's what we will do. I'm sure of it.